I'm going to show you how much fighter pilots actually make. Have you ever looked up at the sky, seen a fighter jet rip through the clouds and thought, wow, that is the coolest job in the entire world? I know I have. But then the next question hits you. How much does someone actually get paid to do something that insane? Today, we are going to answer that exact question. I've spent the last week digging through military pay charts, government reports, and talking to experts to figure out how much fighter jet pilots make around the world in 2025. And I promise you, some of these numbers are going to blow your mind. For the next 10 minutes, we're going on a global tour, not for vacation, but to uncover the salaries of these elite pilots. We're going to compare what a pilot in the United States Air Force makes versus a pilot in the Royal Air Force, and then we'll jump over to see the pay in countries like India, Australia, and Russia. This isn't just about a paycheck, it's about the insane training, the unbelievable risk, and the national pride that comes with flying a $100 million machine at twice the speed of sound. So, if you've ever dreamed of being a pilot, or you're just curious about one of the most exclusive and dangerous jobs on the planet, you are in the right place. I'm going to break down everything, from starting salaries to the bonuses they get for, being awesome. Get ready, because we're about to dive deep into the world of fighter pilot salaries, and trust me, you're not going to want to miss a single second of this. Let's do this. Alright, let's kick things off with the United States, because when you think of fighter jets, you probably think of Top Gun and the USAF. And let me tell you, they get paid a lot. A brand new fighter pilot, fresh out of years of intense training, can expect to start around $100,000 a year. But that's just the beginning. With a few years of experience, that number quickly jumps to over $150,000. And we haven't even talked about the bonuses yet. There are flight pay bonuses, hazard pay bonuses, and even retention bonuses to keep the best pilots from leaving for the airlines. When you add everything up, a senior U.S. fighter pilot with over a decade of experience, maybe a squadron commander, can easily be pulling in over $200,000, and sometimes closer to $250,000 a year. That is an insane amount of money. They are flying the most advanced, most expensive aircraft in the world, like the F-22 Raptor or the F-35, so it kind of makes sense. The U.S. military invests millions of dollars to train just one pilot, so they are willing to pay a premium to keep them. It's a huge salary for a hugely demanding job. Next up, we're crossing the Atlantic to the United Kingdom to see what the pilots of the Royal Air Force are making. Now, their pay structure is a little different, but still incredibly impressive. A new pilot officer flying a Typhoon or an F-35 for the RAF starts out earning around £65,000, which is about $80,000. That's a strong start, but just like in the US, that number climbs fast. Once they become a flight lieutenant and gain more experience, their salary can go up to £80,000 or almost $100,000. But here's where it gets interesting. The UK really values its experienced pilots. A senior squadron leader with years of service can see their pay packet swell to over £110,000, which is roughly $135,000. On top of that, they get incredible benefits, like housing allowances and one of the best pension plans in the world. So while the top-end number might not be as gigantic as the US, the overall package is amazing. They are literally defending the Queen from the cockpit of a supersonic jet, and they are compensated very, very well for it. Now we're flying halfway across the world to India, a country with a massive and powerful air force. Being a fighter pilot in the Indian Air Force is one of the most respected and prestigious jobs you can have. But how does the pay compare? A newly commissioned flying officer in a fighter stream starts with a salary package that, when you include all the allowances like flying pay and kit maintenance, comes out to around 15 lakh rupees per year. That's about $18,000. Now, I know that sounds low compared to the US, but you have to remember the cost of living is completely different. As they get promoted, their pay sees huge jumps. A squadron leader with a few years under their belt can earn over 25 lakh, or $30,000, and a senior wing commander could be making upwards of 35 lakh, which is over $42,000 a year. On top of this, they get incredible perks: free housing for their families, free medical care for life, and access to military schools for their kids. The salary is just one piece of the puzzle. For them, it's about the honor and the massive responsibility of protecting a nation of over 1 billion people. Let's head down under to Australia, where the Royal Australian Air Force pilots are, honestly, some of the best trained in the world. If you want to fly an F-35 or an F/A-18F Super Hornet for the RAF, you're looking at a very, very comfortable life. A trainee pilot officer already gets a starting package of over 80,000 Australian dollars, which is about 53,000 US dollars. And that's, well, while they are still learning. Once they are qualified and posted to a squadron, their salary package, including flight bonuses and other allowances, jumps to over 130,000 Australian dollars, or about 86,000 US dollars, and it only goes up from there. An experienced flight lieutenant in the RAF can earn over 160,000 Australian dollars, which is more than 105,000 US dollars. And for the top guns, the squadron leaders, their total remuneration package can exceed 200,000 Australian dollars, putting them at over 130,000 US dollars. The RAF knows it's competing with major airlines for its best talent, so they offer, honestly, incredible pay and benefits to make sure their elite pilots stay. Flying over the vast Australian outback in a fighter jet definitely comes with a massive paycheck. Next on our world tour is Canada, home of the Royal Canadian Air Force. These pilots are tasked with defending the second largest country in the world, which is an unbelievable amount of airspace. So how much do they make? A pilot in the RCAF starts as an officer cadet and makes around 74,000 Canadian dollars, which is about 54,000 US dollars, while they are in training. But once they get their wings and are promoted to lieutenant, that salary jumps significantly. A qualified fighter pilot can expect to earn over 110,000 Canadian dollars, or more than 80,000 US dollars. As they climb the ranks and gain more experience flying their CF-18 Hornets, their pay continues to grow steadily. A captain with several years of experience can make over 135,000 Canadian dollars, which is nearly 100,000 US dollars. And a senior major in charge of a flight could be earning upwards of 160,000 Canadian dollars, or about 117,000 US dollars. They also get amazing benefits, including allowances for living in remote northern bases and a comprehensive pension. Defending the vast Canadian wilderness from the sky is a tough job, and the pay reflects that immense responsibility. Now we're heading back to Europe to check out Germany, a country known for its incredible engineering. It's no surprise that their Air Force, the Luftwaffe, is filled with highly skilled pilots. So, what's the paycheck look like? A German Air Force pilot, or Luftwaffen pilot, starts their career with a salary that, once they are a qualified lieutenant, is around 70,000 euros per year. That's about 75,000 US dollars. This is a very competitive salary in Europe, and reflects the high level of technical skill required. As a German pilot gains experience and moves up to the rank of Hauptmann, flying the Eurofighter Typhoon, their salary can increase to over 90,000 euros, which is almost 97,000 US dollars. Senior pilots, like a major, can earn well over 110,000 euros, or about 118,000 US dollars, especially when you factor in various allowances and bonuses. The German military places a huge emphasis on technical proficiency and long-term career development, offering a stable and very well-paid career for those who have what it takes to pilot their advanced machines. For our final stop, we're going to Russia to look at the salaries for pilots in the Russian Air Force. Getting concrete numbers here is way more difficult than for other countries, but from what we can gather from official reports and military analysts, the pay is structured very differently. A junior lieutenant flying a modern jet like a Su-35 might start with a monthly salary of around 100,000 rubles. With current exchange rates, that's only about $1,100 a month, or just over $13,000 a year. This seems incredibly low, I know. However, the direct salary is only a small part of the total compensation. Russian military pilots receive massive state benefits. They get free housing, subsidized utilities, and significant bonuses for combat duty or flying in harsh conditions. An experienced senior pilot, a major or lieutenant colonel, could see their monthly pay, with all bonuses included, reach 200,000 to 300,000 rubles or more. This could push their annual income closer to 40,000 or 50,000 US dollars, in a country with a much lower cost of living. The state essentially takes care of everything, so the salary itself doesn't tell the whole story. So there you have it. We've circled the entire globe and seen that being an elite fighter pilot is a well-paid job no matter where you are. But the differences are gigantic. From the massive $250,000 paychecks in the United States, to the honor-driven compensation in India, and the state-supported system in Russia, every country has a unique way of rewarding these incredible men and women. The salaries range from a modest-sounding $18,000 in India to a staggering $200,000 plus in the US. But it's clear that cash is only one part of the equation. The real takeaway here is that whether a pilot is making $40,000 or $240,000, they are all part of an exclusive club. They are the tiny fraction of a percent of people who have the skill, courage, and dedication to fly these amazing machines. The benefits, the pension, the national pride, and the sheer thrill of the job are things you just can't put a price tag on. It's a career built on passion and patriotism as much as it is on pay. It's been absolutely fascinating to break all this down for you. Now I want to hear from you. Which country's salaries surprised you the most? For me, it was probably the huge difference between the US and Russia, even when you account for all the benefits. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more insane comparisons like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.